They say your wedding day is supposed to be the happiest day of your life. I had envisioned it countless times, the perfect moment where love and joy culminated in a lifelong commitment. It started out just as I had dreamed, the morning sun shining brightly, casting a warm glow on the preparations at the hotel. The bridal suite buzzed with excitement as Elena and her bridesmaids got ready, laughter echoing through the hallways. My best friend, Lucas, was by my side, cracking jokes to calm my nerves as we adjusted our ties and sipped on celebratory whiskey. The ceremony was beautiful. Elena looked stunning as she walked down the aisle, her smile lighting up the entire room. The vows we exchanged were heartfelt, promises of forever spoken with tears in our eyes. Our families and friends cheered as we shared our first kiss as husband and wife, a moment that felt like the start of a fairy tale. The reception was a grand affair, the ballroom decorated with elegant floral arrangements and twinkling lights. The scent of roses mingled with the aroma of gourmet food, and the sound of clinking glasses and joyous laughter filled the air. We danced our first dance as husband and wife, lost in each other's eyes as the world around us faded away. Everything seemed perfect. As the night went on, the guests mingled, and the party grew livelier. I felt on top of the world, surrounded by loved ones celebrating our union. Lucas had always been my right-hand man, the brother I never had. He was charming, charismatic, and the life of the party, making sure everyone was having a great time. Elena seemed to be enjoying herself too, her laughter contagious as she floated from one guest to another. It was nearing midnight when I decided to take a break from the festivities and head up to our suite. I wanted to grab a special gift I had planned to surprise Elena with, a token of my love to mark the beginning of our journey together. As I walked through the dimly lit corridors of the hotel, I heard a sound that made me stop in my tracks. It was coming from one of the rooms down the hall, a room I knew was empty, as all the guests were downstairs. Curiosity piqued. I approached the door, my heart pounding in my chest. The door was slightly ajar, and I pushed it open quietly. What I saw next shattered my world into a million pieces. There, in the room, tangled in a passionate embrace, were Elena and Lucas, my wife and my best friend, betraying me in the most unforgivable way imaginable. Rage boiled inside me, a fiery inferno that I could not contain. I stormed into the room, my fists clenching with uncontrollable anger. Lucas barely had time to react before I lunged at him, my fist connecting with his jaw in a forceful punch. He staggered back, but I didn't stop. I unleashed years of trust and friendship in a barrage of blows, my vision clouded with red. Elena screamed, trying to pull me away, her voice a desperate plea for reason. "James, please stop! This isn't what it looks like!" Her words were like gasoline to the fire. I pushed her away, my eyes burning with betrayal and hurt. "I will never forgive you for this," I spat, my voice shaking with fury. "Neither of you. You have destroyed everything." Ignoring her cries, I stormed out of the room and ran back to the ballroom. My heart was a thunderous drum in my ears, but my mind was clear. Everyone needed to know the truth. Bursting into the hall, I climbed onto the stage, grabbing the microphone. "Attention, everyone!" I shouted, my voice echoing through the room as the music came to an abrupt halt. All eyes turned to me, confusion and concern etched on their faces. "I have an announcement to make. This wedding is over. My wife, Elena, and my best friend, Lucas, have betrayed me. They were just caught together upstairs." Gasps and murmurs spread through the crowd, shock and disbelief written on every face. I took a deep breath, my heart heavy but resolute. "Thank you all for coming," I said, my voice breaking. "But this celebration is over. The wedding is over." With those final words, I dropped the microphone and walked out, leaving behind a room full of shattered dreams and broken promises. I felt like my world had crumbled to dust, the foundation of my life shattered by the two people I trusted most. Every joyful moment of the wedding replayed in my mind, now tainted by the bitter sting of betrayal. The once bright future I had envisioned with Elena was now an agonizing void. After storming out of the ballroom, I wandered the streets aimlessly, the night air doing little to cool the seething rage and sorrow within me. I couldn't go back to the hotel, couldn't face the remnants of what was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. I needed to do something, anything, to make sense of the chaos that had erupted. Then it hit me. Lucas's wife, Sophia. She hadn't attended the wedding, citing a family emergency. It made sense now. Lucas had used her absence to indulge in his treachery. She had no idea about the duplicity of her husband, nor the betrayal by her best friend, Elena. I owed it to her to reveal the truth. We were both victims, blindsided by the people we loved most. I took a cab to their home, my mind racing with thoughts of how to break the news. When I arrived, the house was dark, save for a single light in the living room. I hesitated at the door, gathering the strength to face what lay ahead. With a deep breath, I knocked. Sophia opened the door, her face a mixture of surprise and concern. "James, what are you doing here?" "We need to talk," I said, my voice trembling with a mix of anger and sorrow. "It's about Lucas and Elena." Her eyes widened in confusion and fear. "Come in," she said, stepping aside. We sat in the living room, the silence between us heavy with anticipation. I took a deep breath and began. "Sophia, I don't know how to say this, but Lucas and Elena were caught together at the hotel tonight. I walked in on them. They betrayed us." She gasped, her hand flying to her mouth as tears welled up in her eyes. "Elena? My best friend?" "Yes," I said, my voice cracking. "I'm so sorry. Sophia, I know how much this hurts." For a moment, we sat in silence, the weight of our collective pain hanging in the air. Slowly, her shock turned to determination. "We can't let them get away with this," she said, her voice resolute. "They need to feel the same pain they've inflicted on us." A plan began to form, born out of our shared anguish. We would make Lucas and Elena suffer, not with violence, but with the same emotional torment they had caused us. Sophia agreed not to confront Lucas immediately, to keep the knowledge to herself while we orchestrated our revenge. "We'll make them think we're together now," I suggested. "We'll let Lucas believe that we've found solace in each other, that we've moved on and left them behind." Sophia nodded, a glimmer of determination in her tear-filled eyes. "Yes, they need to feel the betrayal, the heartache. We'll make them regret ever hurting us." We spent the rest of the night planning our act, deciding on the details that would make our newfound relationship believable. It was a twisted form of justice, but in our pain, it felt like the only way to reclaim some sense of control. By the time dawn broke, we were ready. The bonds of betrayal had forged an unlikely alliance between us, one rooted in mutual understanding and a desire for retribution. As we prepared to face the day, the first step of our plan in motion, I couldn't help but feel a flicker of hope amid the wreckage of my life. Sophia and I were no longer alone in our suffering, and together, we would make sure Lucas and Elena felt every ounce of the pain they had inflicted. The weeks that followed were a whirlwind of calculated moves and simmering tension. Sophia and I executed our plan with meticulous precision, our every interaction carefully designed to convey the illusion of a blossoming relationship. We attended events together, posted pictures on social media, and made sure to be seen by mutual friends. The whispers of our supposed affair spread like wildfire, and it wasn't long before Lucas took notice. One evening, Sophia and I were having dinner at a local restaurant, our laughter and shared glances a perfect facade. My phone buzzed with a message from Lucas. It was a terse demand to meet at his place immediately. I showed Sophia the message, and she nodded, her face set in grim determination. The moment we had been waiting for had arrived. We drove to their home, the air thick with anticipation. As soon as we stepped through the door, Lucas confronted us, his eyes blazing with fury. "What the hell is going on here?" he shouted, his voice echoing through the house. "Are you two really together now? Is this your revenge for what happened?" I stood my ground, matching his anger with a calm resolve. "Lucas, this is your fault. You and Elena betrayed us. Sophia and I have found comfort in each other, something you never gave us." His face twisted in rage and disbelief. "You're blaming me? How dare you? This is all you're doing." Sophia stepped forward, her voice cutting through his tirade. "Stop it, Lucas. I know everything. I know about you and Elena. James told me the truth, and I've seen the messages. You're the one who destroyed our marriage." Lucas turned pale, the anger draining from his face as he realized the gravity of the situation. "Sophia, please, I can explain." She shook her head, tears welling up but her voice steady. "There's nothing to explain. You made your choice when you betrayed me with my best friend. I'm filing for divorce." The words hung in the air, a final, irrevocable decision. Lucas looked at me, then back at Sophia, desperation creeping into his eyes. Sophia, don't do this. We can work it out. I made a mistake, but we can fix it. Sophia's resolve did not waver. No, Lucas, some things can't be fixed. You've broken my trust, and I can't live with that. This is over. With that, she turned and walked out of the house, leaving Lucas standing in stunned silence. I followed her, casting one last look at the man who had once been my closest friend. His expression was a mix of regret and helplessness, a stark contrast to the confident, charming person he had always been. Outside, Sophia and I sat in my car, the weight of what had just happened settling over us. "Are you okay?" I asked, my voice gentle. She nodded, though her eyes were distant. "I will be. This is just the beginning, but it's a step towards healing." We drove away, the night sky stretching out before us like a canvas of endless possibilities. Our revenge had not been about hurting Lucas for the sake of it, but about reclaiming our own lives and dignity. The pain of betrayal had bound us together, and through our shared journey, we had found strength and hope. As we navigated the road ahead, I realized that Sophia and I had become more than just allies in a plot for revenge. We were survivors, and in each other, we had found the resilience to face whatever came next. The future was uncertain, but for the first time since that fateful wedding day, I felt a glimmer of optimism. Together, we would rebuild our lives one step at a time. Weeks passed, and the news of Sophia filing for divorce spread through our social circles like wildfire. I continued to support Sophia, and our bond grew stronger every day. We were two people united by pain, but also by a newfound resilience and determination to move forward. It was during one of these days, as I was finalizing some details for the divorce, that I received an unexpected message from Elena. "James, can we meet? I need to talk to you about everything. Please, just give me a chance to explain." A flood of emotions washed over me: anger, sadness, and a strange sense of anticipation. I had no intention of rekindling anything with Elena, but I realized this could be an opportunity to make her feel a fraction of the betrayal and hurt she had caused me. I told Sophia about the message, and she immediately understood the importance of this meeting. "Let's go together," she said, her voice firm. "She needs to see that we've moved on." We arrived at the cafe where Elena had asked to meet. It was a cozy, quiet place where we had shared countless memories together. As we walked in, I saw Elena sitting at a corner table, her eyes red from crying. She looked up and saw us, her face a mix of surprise and confusion. "James." "Sophia, what is this?" Elena asked, her voice trembling. I took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. "Elena, there will be no discussion. I didn't come here to listen to excuses or explanations. I came here to tell you that I'm filing for divorce." Her eyes widened in shock, and she reached out as if to touch me, but I stepped back. "But James, please, you have to understand." I cut her off, my voice steady and unwavering. "No, Elena, you have to understand. You betrayed me with my best friend. You shattered the trust and love we had. There's nothing left to talk about." Tears streamed down her face, but I felt no sympathy. This was the pain she had brought upon herself. "And one more thing," I added, turning to Sophia. "I've already found a replacement for you." Elena's gaze shifted to Sophia, who stood by my side, her expression calm but resolute. "Sophia and I have found solace in each other. We've been through the same betrayal, and we've decided to move on together." Elena's face crumpled, her tears flowing more freely now. "James, please, I still love you. We can fix this." I shook my head, feeling a strange sense of closure. "No, Elena, some things can't be fixed. You made your choice, and now you have to live with it. This is goodbye." With that, I turned and walked out of the cafe, Sophia following close behind. As we stepped into the cool evening air, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. The confrontation had been painful, but it was necessary. Elena needed to face the consequences of her actions, just as Lucas had. Sophia slipped her hand into mine, and I squeezed it gently, grateful for her unwavering support. "Are you okay?" she asked, her voice filled with concern. I nodded, a small smile tugging at my lips. "I am now. Thank you for being there with me." We walked away from the cafe, leaving behind the remnants of our past. Together, we were forging a new path, one built on trust, understanding, and the shared strength to overcome betrayal. The future was still uncertain, but with Sophia by my side, I knew we could face anything that came our way. In the months that followed, Sophia and I leaned on each other for support, navigating the aftermath of our shattered lives. We attended each other's court hearings, helped pack up the remnants of our respective homes, and spent countless hours talking through the pain and betrayal. Our bond grew stronger, but we remained just friends, united by a shared ordeal rather than romantic feelings. Sophia and I often met for coffee or dinner, finding comfort in each other's company. We laughed, cried, and planned our futures, each step bringing us closer to healing. Despite the rumors and whispers from those who believed we were a couple, we knew the truth. Our relationship was built on mutual respect and understanding, not romantic love. It was during one of these peaceful evenings that I began to notice something unsettling. I was at my favorite cafe, sipping on a latte and reading a book, when I felt a pair of eyes on me. Looking up, I saw Elena seated at a table across the room, her gaze fixed on me. Our eyes met, and she quickly looked away. But the encounter left me with a sense of unease. Over the next few weeks, these sightings became more frequent. Elena seemed to appear wherever I went, at the grocery store, the gym, even at the park where I liked to jog. It wasn't long before Sophia noticed the pattern as well. "James, I think Elena is following you," Sophia said one afternoon as we sat in her living room, sorting through old photos. I sighed, running a hand through my hair. "I've noticed. She's been everywhere I go. It's starting to feel like harassment." Sophia looked worried. "You should confront her. This isn't healthy for either of you." Taking Sophia's advice to heart, I decided to address the situation. The next time I saw Elena, I would make it clear that her behavior was unacceptable. The opportunity came sooner than I expected. I was at the local park, finishing my run, when I spotted Elena sitting on a bench, watching me. Gathering my courage, I walked over to her. "Elena, we need to talk," I said, my voice firm but calm. She looked up, a mixture of surprise and defiance in her eyes. "James, I just wanted to see you. I miss you. I miss us." I shook my head, trying to keep my emotions in check. "Elena, you need to stop this. Following me around isn't going to change anything. We're over. You need to move on." Her eyes filled with tears, and she reached out to touch my arm, but I stepped back. "Please, James, I still love you. I know I made a mistake, but I can't let you go." I took a deep breath, feeling a pang of sadness for the woman I had once loved. "Elena, I have moved on. You need to do the same. This isn't healthy for either of us. Please, for your own sake, let me go." She looked away, tears streaming down her face. "I don't know how," she whispered. Feeling both sympathy and frustration, I turned and walked away, hoping she would finally understand. As I made my way back to Sophia's house, I couldn't shake the feeling of unease that Elena's obsession had stirred within me. When I arrived, Sophia was waiting with a concerned look on her face. "How did it go?" I shrugged, sitting down next to her. "She's not letting go. I'm worried about her, but I don't know what else to do." Sophia put a comforting hand on my shoulder. "We'll get through this, James. You've done everything you can. It's up to her now to find her own path." With Sophia's support, I felt a renewed sense of strength. We had both been through so much, and while our scars would always be a part of us, we had each other to lean on. Our friendship was a beacon of light in the darkness, a reminder that even in the aftermath of betrayal, there could still be hope and healing. Life seemed to be settling into a new normal. Sophia and I continued to support each other through the turbulence of our past, focusing on rebuilding our lives. Our friendship remained steadfast, a rock amidst the shifting sands of our circumstances. But just when we thought we had navigated through the worst, an unexpected twist sent everything spiraling once more. One evening, Sophia and I decided to attend a local art exhibition. It was a chance to unwind and immerse ourselves in something beautiful, away from the shadows of our past. As we wandered through the gallery, admiring the vibrant paintings and sculpture, I felt a sense of peace that had been elusive for so long. We were discussing a particularly striking piece when my phone buzzed. It was a message from an unknown number. I hesitated, then opened it. "I know the truth. Meet me at the old warehouse tonight. Come alone, or everyone will find out." My heart raced as I read the message. Sophia noticed my change in demeanor and looked at me with concern. "James, what's wrong?" I showed her the message, her eyes widening in alarm. Who could this be? What truth are they talking about? I don't know, I said, my mind racing, but I have to find out. Sophia insisted on coming with me, but I remembered the warning. I have to go alone, but I'll keep you updated. If anything goes wrong, call the police. Reluctantly, she agreed, and we parted ways. The drive to the old warehouse felt like an eternity, my mind swirling with possibilities. Who could know something that I didn't, and what could be so important that they'd resort to blackmail? When I arrived at the warehouse, it was dark and deserted, the perfect setting for a clandestine meeting. I parked my car and approached the entrance, my heart pounding in my chest. The door creaked open, and I stepped inside, the dim light casting eerie shadows on the walls. "Hello?" I called out, my voice echoing in the empty space. "I'm here. What do you want?" A figure emerged from the shadows, and my breath caught in my throat. It was Elena. "Elena, what are you doing here?" I asked, a mix of confusion and anger flooding through me. "I had to see you," she said, her voice trembling. "There's something you need to know." "Enough with the games, Elena. What is this about?" She took a deep breath, her eyes filled with a mixture of fear and determination. "It's about Sophia. She's not who you think she is." My heart skipped a beat. "What are you talking about?" "She's been lying to you, James. She's been manipulating you from the beginning. She knew about Lucas and me long before you did. She set this whole thing up to make sure you'd leave me." Her words hit me like a punch to the gut. "That's insane. Sophia has been nothing but supportive. Why would she do that?" "Because she's in love with you?" "James," Elena said, tears streaming down her face. "She orchestrated everything to make sure you'd end up with her. She used your pain to get close to you, to make you rely on her." I staggered back, my mind reeling. "No, that can't be true. Sophia would never do something like that." Elena stepped closer, her voice desperate. "You have to believe me, James. I have proof. Messages, emails. She confessed everything to Lucas before we got caught." I felt like the ground was crumbling beneath me. Could Sophia, the person who had been my rock, really have manipulated me so thoroughly? I didn't want to believe it, but the evidence was staring me in the face. "I need to see this proof," I said, my voice shaking. Elena nodded and handed me her phone. As I scrolled through the messages, my heart sank. The conversations were undeniable. Sophia had known everything and had played me like a puppet. My mind raced with the implications. Everything I had believed, every moment of support and friendship, had been a lie. I felt a surge of anger and betrayal, more intense than anything I had experienced before. "I don't know what to say," I muttered, handing the phone back to Elena. "Say you'll confront her," Elena urged. "Make her face the consequences of her actions." Numbly, I nodded. I had to confront Sophia, to hear her side of the story, to understand why she had done this to me. The drive back to Sophia's house was a blur, my mind a chaotic mess of emotions. When I arrived, Sophia was waiting anxiously by the door. "James, what happened? Are you okay?" I looked at her, the woman I had trusted more than anyone else, and felt a surge of anger. "We need to talk," I said, my voice cold. As I stepped inside, the gravity of the situation hit me fully. The person who had been my anchor through the storm had been the one pulling the strings all along, and now everything was about to unravel. The confrontation with Sophia was inevitable. I had raced back to her house, my mind a storm of emotions. When I arrived, she was waiting anxiously by the door, her concern palpable. "James, what happened? Are you okay?" she asked, her eyes searching mine for answers. I took a deep breath, steeling myself. "We need to talk," I said, my voice cold. Inside, I laid out everything Elena had told me, every piece of so-called evidence she had shown me. Sophia listened, her face a mix of shock and hurt. When I finished, she took a deep breath and met my gaze with unwavering sincerity. "James, I never did any of those things. Elena is lying, I swear to you. I would never manipulate you like that," she said, her voice steady despite the tears in her eyes. I wanted to believe her, but the messages had seemed so convincing. "Sophia, I don't know what to believe anymore. The messages, they looked real." Sophia took my hand, her grip firm and reassuring. "Let's find out the truth together. We'll go through everything, every piece of evidence, and you'll see that I'm telling the truth." We spent hours reviewing the messages, the emails, and every bit of supposed evidence Elena had provided. Slowly but surely, inconsistencies began to emerge. The timestamps didn't match up. The language used in the messages didn't sound like Sophia at all, and some of the emails were clearly doctored. It became increasingly clear that Elena had fabricated everything. The realization hit me like a wave of relief and guilt all at once. I had doubted Sophia, the one person who had stood by me through everything. "Sophia, I'm so sorry," I said, my voice breaking. "I should have trusted you." She hugged me tightly, her warmth soothing the turmoil inside me. "It's okay, James. I understand why you doubted, but now we know the truth." With the evidence in hand, we went to the authorities. They launched an investigation, and it wasn't long before Elena's deceit was fully uncovered. Her obsession had driven her to desperate measures, and she was admitted to a mental hospital for treatment. It was a tragic end for someone who had once been a close friend, but it was necessary for her to get the help she needed. With Elena no longer a threat, Sophia and I began to rebuild our lives once more. The experience had brought us even closer, our bond forged in the fires of adversity. We continued to support each other, but now there was something more, a deep, undeniable connection that went beyond friendship. One evening, as we sat on her porch watching the sunset, I took Sophia's hand in mine. "Sophia, I don't know what the future holds, but I do know that I want you in it. You've been my rock, my confidant, and my best friend. And now, I think I'm falling in love with you." She smiled, her eyes sparkling with tears of joy. "James, I've been waiting to hear those words. I love you too." We leaned in, our lips meeting in a gentle, heartfelt kiss. It was a new beginning, a promise of a future built on trust, respect, and genuine love. The pain of the past was still there, but it had brought us together in a way we never could have imagined. From that day forward, Sophia and I were inseparable. We faced every challenge together, drawing strength from our shared experiences. Our relationship blossomed, and we found happiness in each other's arms. The scars of betrayal had healed, leaving behind a bond that was stronger than ever. In the end, love had triumphed over deceit and pain. Sophia and I had found our way to each other, proving that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope for a brighter tomorrow. Our relationship grew stronger with each passing day. Sophia and I found solace and joy in our shared moments, whether we were exploring new places, cooking dinner together, or simply enjoying quiet evenings at home. The shadows of our past seemed to recede further with each step we took towards our future. Months turned into a year, and we decided it was time to take another step forward. Sophia and I had talked about our dreams and aspirations, and it became clear that we wanted to build a life together, not just as partners but as a family. It was a warm summer evening when I decided to propose, choosing the same park where our journey of friendship had turned into something more. I led Sophia to a secluded spot by the lake, where the setting sun cast a golden glow over the water. I took her hand, my heart racing with anticipation and love. "Sophia, this past year has been the most incredible journey of my life. We've faced so much together and come out stronger. I can't imagine my life without you. Will you marry me?" Tears welled up in her eyes as she nodded, a radiant smile spreading across her face. "Yes, James, I will marry you." The park echoed with our laughter and joy as I slipped the ring onto her finger. We celebrated with a quiet dinner at our favorite restaurant, basking in the happiness of our engagement. It felt like the final piece of the puzzle had fallen into place, and we were ready to start this new chapter together. Our wedding day was a small, intimate affair, surrounded by close friends and family who had supported us through our darkest times. The ceremony was held in a beautiful garden, the air filled with the scent of blooming flowers and the sound of birds singing. As we exchanged vows, I couldn't help but feel overwhelmed by the journey that had brought us here. "Sophia," I said, looking into her eyes, "I promise to love you, support you, and cherish every moment we share. You are my heart, my soul, and my everything." "James," she replied, her voice steady and filled with emotion, "I vow to stand by you, to share in your joys and sorrows, and to build a future filled with love and happiness. You are my best friend, my partner, and the love of my life." As we kissed, sealing our promises, the applause of our loved ones surrounded us, and I felt a profound sense of peace and fulfillment. The pain and betrayal of the past were distant memories, overshadowed by the love and hope that defined our present and future. The reception was a joyous celebration, filled with laughter, dancing, and heartfelt speeches. Even Lucas, who had undergone his own journey of redemption and healing, was there, offering his sincere congratulations. It was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of forgiveness. As the night drew to a close, Sophia and I stood beneath the stars, holding each other close. "We've come so far," she whispered, her head resting on my shoulder. "Yes, we have," I agreed, kissing the top of her head. "And there's so much more to look forward to." Our journey had been marked by pain, betrayal, and unexpected twists, but it had also brought us closer, forging a bond that was unbreakable. Together, we had turned our darkest days into a foundation for a bright and hopeful future. In the end, it wasn't just the love we found in each other that mattered, but the strength we discovered within ourselves. Sophia and I had faced our fears, overcome our challenges, and emerged stronger. And as we looked out at the horizon, hand in hand, we knew that whatever the future held, we would face it together, with love and unwavering support. Our story was one of resilience, redemption, and the incredible power of love. It was a reminder that even in the face of betrayal, hope and happiness could be found, and that true love could heal even the deepest wounds. And as Sophia and I began this new chapter of our lives, we did so with hearts full of gratitude and eyes set firmly on the future, ready to embrace whatever came our way.